What's your name?
My name is Riley.
My name's Hayden. Great to meet you. So I'd love to just start by hearing your position.
I'm pro-choice. I believe that when it comes to women's bodies, she should be able to make her own choice and no one else should feel obligated to tell her what to do with her body.
Okay, so just a quick clarification on that. So when people make bodily autonomy arguments, usually what I find is they're making one of two claims. Either they're claiming that the body inside the woman, right, the baby is actually the mother's body, or they're saying, no, it's a separate body from the mother, that's a human being, but the mother should still be able to murder the child or end the child's life because it's inside of the mother. Which of those would you say your argument falls into?
I kind of would say the second argument.
Okay.
I wouldn't use the term murder because it's not really like execution. It's a medical procedure.
That executes the child though, right?
Yes, but I don't think that people should be able to tell a woman what to do with her body, especially men, because first, you're not a woman, you don't carry a child, you don't go through period, menstrual cramps or anything like that. So if you can't experience it, how are you going to tell her what to do about it? Some women, they don't have a choice. Some women have to get an abortion. Some women don't just get abortions to replace like Plan B. Some women do, but some women don't. It kind of depends.
Yeah, so you said that we shouldn't be able to tell women what to do with their bodies, but we actually do that all the time with both women and men. For example, a man can't rape a woman because there's another body involved, right? The woman, the victim, right? And a man can't murder a child, even a preborn child. If a man gives mifepristone and misoprostol, which is abortion pills that can be used up to like 10 to 12 weeks pregnancy, if he gives it to his girlfriend and she doesn't know that's what he's giving her, and she takes it under coercion or something like that, and the child dies, that man is actually charged with murder. So right now, all that we have is special murder rights for mothers. I simply think we should protect all people equally, whether they're born or unborn. And I don't think we should give a special class of people, in this case mothers of preborn children, the right to murder their preborn children. I know you object to the term murder, but would you acknowledge that it's a human being from fertilization?
Yes, I
guess.
Okay,
so in this case then, we would have to say it's murder. You might say it's a form of murder that you're okay with or that you think should be legal, but it is ultimately the unjustified taking of human life.
I see what you're saying. I agree. Do you think it's morally wrong to have an abortion?
Yeah, I'd say God commands us not to murder. I think that God is the ultimate standard of morality. I don't know if are you a Christian or no?
Yes.
Okay.
But when it comes to like abortion and stuff, I feel people like to use religion as an excuse for things. So I feel like when it comes to like abortion or political views and stuff, religion shouldn't be brought into it because I'm pretty sure most of us here have sin or sin. So you can't really like, bring that into it, I think.
Well, I'd say we can, because John 7 verse 24 tells us to judge with righteous judgment. And we know what righteous judgment is according to God's word. For example, if a man raped a woman and it was currently legal for him to do so, I think you and I would both say no, it needs to be illegal for a man to rape a woman because God says that rape is wrong. Mm-hmm. So in that case, we'd both be standing, I think, on God's word saying, no, we need to criminalize rape because it's not only a sin, because there are some sins that aren't crimes, but it's a crime in the Old Testament. We see that clearly. And so I'd say if we want to be consistent and if we want to be able to use God's word to oppose things like rape or like kidnapping and enslaving black people, which Exodus says explicitly is actually a crime that's worthy of the death penalty. And that's why Christian abolitionists were able to end the slave trade in America and in Great Britain, is because they were able to look at God's word and say, no, God says this is an abomination and it needs to stop. But I'd say if in all those circumstances with rape and kidnapping and enslaving black people, we're standing on God's word, we need to also stand on God's word when it comes to abortion, because he says it's murder. And I just think that we ought to obey him.
I get what you're saying. I agree with that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Have you always been anti-abortion?
I'd say, I grew up in a Christian household, pro-life, but I didn't start really taking my faith seriously until probably about 1.5 years ago. And I'd say once I started doing that, looking at what God's word says about abortion, about protecting fatherless children, about showing no partiality in judgment, about what his law says regarding murder, and even in Proverbs it says to rescue those who are being led away to death. And right now the people who are being led away to death are 1 million children a year by abortion. So I just look at his word, I say, okay, if he's commanding us to rescue children being led away to death, if he's commanding us to establish justice and not show partiality in judgment by giving women special murder rights, well then I just think I need to obey his commands and just follow him.
Okay.
Well, hey, it was a lovely conversation.
It was a nice conversation with you as well. I like to have conversations with people who have opposing views as me. It helps me learn in a way.
Yeah, no worries. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a great conversation.
Thank you.